Hi, in this week's video, I'm going to be reviewing the trade-in and delivery service from Tesla. And as you'll see as the video goes on, it works, but it's kind of unlike any other car company I've ever dealt with. And it's something that I should actually be used to by now because this is my third Tesla. My first was a Tesla Model S in 2019, which I still think is the best looking Tesla ever made. My current car and the one I'm trading in is a Tesla Model 3 long range with the acceleration boost. A car that I've actually really enjoyed driving, much better size for UK roads. The technology inside the car was actually quite a big leap than my Tesla Model S, and it fits in all car parking spaces. However, I bought it just before the Model Y came to the UK, and the kids are bigger, we do a lot of road trips, and we just need a little bit more room some of the time. And because I'm essentially a child with a beard, I just wanted the performance one as well. And so in this video, I'm going to share how it all went. Let's get cracking. So the actual booking of a test drive is really easy. You just go on the Tesla website, you book the test drive, and then they communicate with you by text message to get it all sort of confirmed and tell you what to bring on the day. Now, I specifically wanted to test drive the Performance Model Y as well as the long range, because I think the Performance one is probably the least sensible choice of the three, but I just wanted it. So I thought I'd drive the long range as well, and just to see how that compares. And one of the best things I've always liked about Tesla is, like Apple, the actual shop experience isn't a high pressured sales environment. So if you know what it's like, if you go into an Apple store, it's kind of like them giving you information, and you can buy stuff if you want, or you can go away, think about it and buy it online later. And it's very much like that with Tesla. You just go in, test drive the cars, ask the questions that you've got, and if you want to, you can go away and you can order one. So one of the guys in the sales center, I mean, he was a little bit pushy in the way that he was a lot more salesy than anyone I've ever met in a Tesla sales center before, and I've been in quite a few of them. But I later found out that he previously worked for one of the major Bavarian car sales companies, so maybe that explains some of it. And he asked me if I knew exactly what car I wanted. I said I did. I said I wanted a red Performance Model Y with a white interior. He got his laptop out and he said, yeah, we've got one coming in. I can hold that car for you, and if you order it online, let me have your order number and I will match you to that car. You can have it in a week. And it was at this point really that things started to go kind of downhill for this part of the experience. So I thought this was really impressive because the delivery was something like 0 to 3 months delivery. This guy's telling me he's got a car, the exact car I want, he's reserving it, and it'll be ready in a week. So I thought, wow, I've not experienced this from Tesla before. Went online, sent them my order number. I then went to apply for the finance, which it was at 4.9% APR, which is like a really good rate. But on the back end of the Tesla system, it was showing at 7.9% APR. So I spoke to the guy, he said, look, don't worry, it's all fine. The 4.9% rate is brand new. It's now Friday, we'll have it updated by Monday, so just apply them for the finance. I thought, yep, no problem. But then I got a call Saturday saying, look, that was the wrong advice. Apply for it at 7.9%, just so you've secured the financing, and then we'll change it manually at the back end. So I thought, fine, I applied, it all went through, everything's good. So over the next few days, I then contacted them again and said, look, I'm meant to be picking this car up this weekend, and I haven't really heard much more, and the rate's still showing at 7.9% on my end. And they said, don't worry, everything's fine. Like a day before, I contacted them again and said, look, what's happening this weekend with this car? And they said, yeah. It was the same guy, and he said to me, yeah, that date I gave you was the date that is coming into us, and we need a few days to check it. Please don't worry about the car, and the rate, it will probably be the week after. Like, okay, no problem. From ordering a car to getting it in 2 weeks is still very impressive. So I wasn't too bothered, I had plans that weekend anyway. And it was at this point I was handed over to a Tesla delivery specialist who kind of plus 10 to the whole experience, because it all felt a little bit vague. and slightly salesy in a way that I wasn't used to with Tesla. And so I was pleased to be dealing with this guy. And he said to me that basically applying for the finance at that rate of 7.9, that's the finance rate, unless I want to apply again now that they can do it at 4.9. And I pushed back and said, look, I don't want more hard credit searches on my credit file. And I was told, and I've got an email that I can send you, that you would sort it out in the back end. And he basically said, that's not going to happen. So I can either accept the 7.9% rate, or I can apply again for 4.9, which I did, and it all went through. But it did leave me with the 2 hard searches on my credit file. And in my day job, I'm a property investor, so I do need to apply for mortgages and things like that periodically, and they're just not good. Mortgage companies don't like lots of hard searches. And then I asked him about the delivery date, because I was told it would be the 6th of May 2023. And I'll put that date on the screen. So we're past the 6th of May 2023 now. And I'm not in any rush for this car, but I'm like, well, I've been told one thing, I've got no car, what's going on? And he explained that it was human error. So Tesla are a US company. So the 6th of May 2023, or the date as you're looking at it here, actually means, from a US perspective, the 5th of June 2023, because we're day, month, year. They're month, day, year. I don't know why it doesn't make sense. So because they're a US company, the sales associate hadn't quite read the date and transposed it into a UK format. And that's why my car was going to be a month later than they said. No big issue, but yet again, another kind of like piece of misinformation from the sales team about this car. Now, one thing I want to touch on is the trading experience. So the cars that I've sold to buy Teslas, I've never traded the car into Tesla. The reason being is that Tesla have never given me the best price. But for my Model 3, I don't know whether people are more nervous about Teslas, but the best price offered was actually by Tesla, and it was £1,500 more than all the others. So I thought, wow, I'll just go with the Tesla. Maybe Tesla can see that I'd bought the acceleration boost, so that might add value to the car as they were selling it on, or perhaps they just know their market and know they wanted this car in to their inventory. So we're now the day before pickup, and I can say that the trade-in specialist that I've been speaking to at Tesla and the delivery specialist, I mean, I was tempted to name them because they've been so good. These guys have been like really on it. Any question I ask is immediately answered, and they've made the process very, very easy, very slick for me. So I know exactly what I need to do tomorrow and what I need to take when I go and collect the car. In addition to that, I've also been able to read the finance agreement in advance. They've sent me that to double check and check I'm completely happy with. So when I sign it on the day, it shouldn't be me reading through a big long document. I mean, there's always a risk that it's a different document, but I don't think that's going to happen. So let's see you tomorrow when I'm going to go and pick this car up. So here we are, the NEC is just behind me. I've dropped the car in the car park here. I'm just going to, excuse me, get a picture of the miles on the clock and also log out, which is really important if you're trading your car in. Excuse my voice. I started off with Jacob Banks, and then moved on to System of a Down, and then moved on to the crash test dummies. And my voice is gone. And as it's the last journey in the car, it was a little bit quicker. You know what it's like when you're taking your car back. You want to get that last bit of fun out of it. And it has been a brilliant car, and I will be sad to see it go, actually. I do have mixed feelings. One question I do have is, how clean do you leave the car when you hand it back? I mean, I've given it a little bit of a going over. It is nice and clean. I know someone's going to clean it anyway, but that's going to be a person on not a great wage, I imagine. So there's the mileage. I can't say odometer. I think to be doubly sure, I'm just going to do a factory reset on the car here. I actually haven't got a clue why it's beeping. I've even put the seatbelt on. So I mean, it's being traded in. So I'm sure Tesla will fix it. Why is it beeping? I think I've worked it out. Because no one's logged into the car, I guess it's just saying that it can't really do everything it needs to do. So maybe that's it. Hopefully I haven't broken it. There's the NEC, that's Atrium 1, and I'm looking for Hall 6. I'm also a middle-aged man who's been driving for an hour and a half, so, so I just need to find a toilet as well. Okay, I can relax. And one tip I do have, especially if you're in the UK, is when you pick up your new car, before you pick up your new car, you will get the reg a week or two before, but the sweet spot for insurance is actually 21 days. So make sure you get on to the comparison websites 21 days before. Even without the reg, you can put in what your car is, and that should give you the best prices. I checked the price of my insurance, which incidentally is 50% higher than it was for the car I've just left. But 21 days ago was a sweet spot. When I checked it this morning before I left, it was another £400 higher than that. Right, I'm gonna miss where I'm going if I'm not careful. Look what I can see in the distance there. This appears to be a room full of Teslas. Let's have a look. If, like me, you've got a thing for Teslas, I mean, this is the place to come. It's just full of them, full of Teslas. I see it, the trade-in is all done. And you know when you buy a new car and then you go in, you get a cup of tea or coffee in like a china cup, and then your car's there under a blanket, you know, a sheet, and they pull the sheet away and there's your car all shiny. Well, with Tesla, we just send you into the compound and tell you roughly where your car is. Now, because my car's red, I'm assuming this is probably the least popular colour because you pay extra for it. As far as I can see, it's the only red one in here. And there she is. Look at that. She looks amazing. That looks so good. I'm really pleased. Wow. I'm going to have a good look round and check for imperfections. And I'll take it easy out of here because I don't know if you know, but the new ones don't have parking sensors. So it's all done with camera vision and there's no sensors on the front or the back. The guys in there also told me that they've got another like warehouse twice the size of this and it's full of inventory cars. I've had a really good look around the car. I've checked all the wheels. Everything looks spot on. I mean, if you know about Teslas or you're interested in Teslas, you would have heard the words panel gap over and over again. This car doesn't seem to have any, or they all seem to be uniform. I don't know if it's the light in here, but I can't tell if the bumper here looks slightly different in colour to the rest of it. It might just be the light. You might be able to see better than me. I did notice one thing down here. So there's paint protection film on here, and there's just a little bit of an imperfection there. So I'll perhaps pop back and speak to them, see if they can sort me out with a new piece. The one thing I didn't do, which I wish I did when I bought this Tesla, was to be referred. So if you're thinking about buying a Tesla, I'll put my referral code in the description of this video and also on the pinned comment. And that way, when you buy your Tesla, it will then give you some credits, and you can use those credits for things like free supercharging, for t-shirts, for wall chargers, and for decanters and stuff like that. So rather than just buy your car, if you've got a friend who's got a Tesla, ask them for their referral code. If not, you're very welcome to use mine. It also helps support the channel. Let's get out of here. I've had a really good look at the inside in here, and it's not the best light really to check a car, but everything looks spot on. I just check all the charging cables are in there. That's good, that stays up on its own. So I've got my Type 2, and in there should be my UMC. I know it's in there, I can feel it, but I just want to have a little look. Yeah, that all looks good, and there's the 3-pin. I am just a little bit nervous about this interior. So I don't know if you can see the blue stain there. So that's just from the Journey here. I don't think it's coming across very well, but that's just been in my pocket, and it's covered in jean dye, and I haven't washed these jeans since I bought them. Just stopped at Rugby. I've got 19% in the car. It was charging at, I think it was 220, I'll show you. And we've already spent £1.36, £1.40, it's going up quickly. And I'm absolutely loving this car, but I've driven quite slowly because it takes a while for the cameras to calibrate. Look at it, it's just so nice. Can you tell I'm happy? It takes a while for the cameras to calibrate, and one of the reasons why Tesla drivers love Teslas is because when you approach the supercharger, it will preheat the battery. You've seen the speeds I was getting, I think it was 220. And you can see exactly how many superchargers are free before you even get there. So none of this hoping that there's chargers available, you know. The supercharger network knows the state of charge of every car here, and it is fairly full today. And it knows when people are about to leave, etc. And it's suggesting a limit of 80% because this is quite a busy supercharger. Now, the reason I'm charging is because I would have got home with 0 to 1%. And Tesla know where I live, so I think it would be nice to have enough charge to get home when I pick the car up. However, looking at how many cars were there, and I'm interested to know your opinion on this. I mean, there were hundreds, and there was probably 25, 30 cars going out today, they said. So I can kind of see why. And then they emailed me, and I'll put the email on the screen, so I can't remember the exact wording. I think cars need to be at least 50% full. And this one wasn't, it was 29. So they give you 100 miles of free supercharging. And I'm going to use the word typically Tesla here because I'm grateful for those 100 miles of free charging. But you can see here my bill is racking up fairly quickly. And the reason for that is those 100 miles of free charging aren't available to you on the day you pick your car up. So I'm going to grab a sandwich and I'll see you at home. Well, I'm back and it's been amazing fun to drive. I really loved my Model 3 long range with the acceleration boost. But this is just better. It's just more comfortable. Surprisingly, I thought the suspension would be worse, if not the same, because it's got bigger wheels. I was on 18s, I'm now on 21s. But the ride comfort on this, time will tell, but it feels better than what it did on my Model 3, which is a surprise. I think I might have to eat my words with that charging from Tesla, because if I look at my last charging cost, it's been reduced down to £1.56. I didn't actually see how much it got up to, but I think it must have got up to about maybe £8 or £9. So it looks like that 100 miles of charging has already been added. Overall, I'm very impressed with the car. With regards to the trade-in and buying process, it's better than it was. I don't think you're going to be overwhelmed if you do trade in a Tesla and buy another one. Luckily, there was those two people. I met one of the people today that was really helpful. So it was really the sales in the sales office, the showroom, that let the whole process down. If it wasn't for those, I would say this is probably an 8 or 9 out of 10 experience. But that misinformation at the start, especially if I've been a new customer, imagine if I was a new customer to Tesla, that was enough perhaps to put me off buying a car maybe. Is it as good as trading a car into BMW and seeing the finance guy in the stripy shirt and the Breitling? Oh, I don't know. It's just different. And that's something that Tesla are very good at. When I look at the build quality in this car, it's very good. But it's hard to compare it to, say, a Ford or a BMW or something else, because they seem to set their own standards. And that's the same with the customer service as well. They said to me about the PPF peeling off, that just book a service appointment. A ranger will come and do it on my drive. We will see. But overall, I am really pleased. I mean, I love the car. I like Teslas. Yeah, I couldn't be happier. Well, I hope you found this video useful, and until next time, see you soon.